Imagine that you are in a state where you're completely free. All the activities that you're doing, you're enjoying it. Any work that comes to you, you have no problem. And internally, you're not affected. You're free of anxiety, jealousy, fear of death, and also day to day activities because you're established. Mental health is a major concern in India. Around 69.9% people, especially students, are suffering to anxiety. 59.9% are suffering to depression, and 65.1% are going through emotional imbalance. Such is the generation that we are facing now. Just because we can't handle our emotions, we are constantly worried about what is going to happen next, and the monkey mind is running around. In order to solve this, the rishis have given one of the most simple technique, yet one of the most interesting techniques, and that is meditation. So in today's session, we are going to understand what is meditation, how to meditate, and the most simple way to control this monkey mind. Let's start. Hari Om Tat Sat. Let's understand what meditation is. Generally, when anyone talks about meditation, the first thing that comes to our mind is sitting cross-legged, taking the Gyan Mudra, and just sitting without knowing anything, what to do, what happens, and what is the criteria that is required. And when we say meditation in English, it's taken from a root word in Latin word which means to heal. However, meditation doesn't mean concentration. Meditation does not mean a prayer. Meditation does not mean that you leave everything and go in the mountains. It is wrong. Meditation means to operate in this world with complete awareness, not running away from our duties, at the same time to control this monkey mind. Remember one thing, when the mind is under control, the mind is your best friend. However, when the same mind is out of control, it will give you pain, anxiety, fear, and you will be trapped under Maya. So meditation is that tool which will help you to evolve not only internally, but will make you a perfect instrument externally, and you'll start understanding the essence of this thing called life. Let's understand meditation from the yogic point of view, from Vedantic point of view, and also from the great Patanjali Yoga Sutra, because Maharishi Patanjali was the first rishi who decoded the mind and made it simpler for people like us. Let's understand the mind before we get into the practice of meditation. It's very simple. I'm not going to use terms like conscious, subconscious, cosmic conscious. Simple. The mind is generally active in three types. So generally when you're very, very hyper and you're in some kind of, anxiety, or you want to run away, or the mind is constantly working, that is known as Rajas. At times you're very, very lethargic, very, very slow, you don't want to do anything, and slowly that tends to depression, that is known as Tamas. And at the same time, there is one state of the mind where you're completely aware, you're participating in everything, you are in balance, and there is no mental noise, and that is known as Sattva. The entire goal of meditation is to get us towards Sattva and even take us beyond Sattva. But for beginners, it is very important that we get ourselves established completely in Sattva. And then only we can move to higher understanding of meditation. So, this is for beginners. Let us enjoy and let us understand how to be in Sattva. This is the teachings of Maharishi Patanjali. In fact, the Sattva, Raja, Tama has been mentioned by the Rishis long time ago, and Maharishi Patanjali also gave more clarity by making us explain the 5 states of the mind. It is something very interesting, and we can relate it to our day-to-day life. How will I become aware? What is awareness when I come into Sattva and I'm balanced? The first state of mind that he has said is the monkey mind. When the mind is always running around, always hyperactivity, it is known as Shipta, in which you can't do anything because internally it is just going in the past, just going in the future, and it is turbulent. Second state of mind is very interesting, known as Muda, when again Tamas takes over and you're very, very lethargic. In fact, it is the initial stage of depression. Nowadays, we use the term depression very vaguely, but it is a very dark space to be in, and Tamas leads to that. The third stage is very interesting, which we generally operate in. It is known as the butterfly mind, Vikshipta, That means you're doing something and again the mind runs around and again comes back. For example, if you have exams tomorrow, you want to finish this answer, you start reading, again you start thinking when the exam is getting over, again you come back. 99.9% people like us, we dwell into this. In, out, in, out, in, out. These three are the states of mind which we are contemplating and dwelling constantly in it. However, Maharishi Patanjali doesn't stop here. He has given us higher states of mind, and that is the reason sadhana, that is meditation, pratyahar, dhyan, which we talk about, comes into play. The next state of mind that he gives is ekagra, one point of the mind. It is very interesting because in this state, you become aware and you start enjoying and you realize that once the mind becomes a friend, that means you're making him a friend and communicating and realizing that you have the power, not the mind. That is ekagra, one pointedness of the mind. And the last is niruddha. It is a very high state where you become one with everything. That means that is the entry point when we talk about samadhi, enlightenment and all. It starts from there. But let us come to ekagra. Let us start so that we get accomplished and we become the masters of the life and not victims of a life. Now, understanding details of what is meditation, because meditation that we use in modern terms is wrong. There is a preparatory process and there is understanding of meditation. Now, the question comes, why so much theory? Because without theory, there can't be practical. Before we start meditation, Maharishi Patanjali himself has said there's a process called pratyahar. Pratyahar means withdrawing your senses. And one can only withdraw their senses when they do pranayam. So, let's divide our meditation into two parts. The first is the withdrawing of the senses, that is doing some pranayam. And the second is understanding what happens in the body and the mind to understand the term meditation. Again, coming back to pratyahar. So, when we do our practice, we'll talk about how to do anulom vilom, and that is taking our senses inward. So, when you do a practice every year, that is pratyahar, withdrawing of your senses. The technique to do pratyahar is doing pranayam. And even in Hatha Pradipika it is said, or any pranayam text it is said very clearly, the best pranayam to control this monkey mind is to do Anulom Vilom or Nadi Shodhan. And one practice, stick to it for 5 minutes every day for the upcoming 6 months, and you will realize that slowly the senses are coming in and you're moving to the initial stages of meditation. So let's understand what are the initial stages of meditation. So the English term meditation, let's break it down how the great rishis have given us. And in meditation now, there are 3 important steps: dharana, dhyan, samadhi. Let's understand what dharana is. Very simple understanding of dharana is one-pointedness towards an object. Now, please understand, getting a focus towards an object. What is an object? Anything that you focus on is an object. Maybe your heart, maybe doing tratak, maybe putting the awareness between the eyebrows, maybe thinking about something, that is an object. And you are always the subject. So, when the subject is concentrating on an object, that becomes dharana. But for beginners like us, the problem is it is breaking all the time. So I'm repeating my statement again. Be very aware. When the awareness between subject and object is breaking all the time, and yet you're trying to be aware again and again, that is known as dharana. And that is the first step of meditation. So for a beginner, after taking the senses inward, one should do dharana. And the best technique to do dharana is diya gazing or candle gazing. In Sanskrit, we call it tratak. So when we break down the process of meditation, first is pranayam and second is tratak. So how does it work? Even when you're doing tratak and the mind is running around all the time, it is okay. Get it back again and again. And slowly taking baby steps, you will realize that this dharana has converted into dhyan. And when we translate dhyan in English, it is meditation. Unbroken awareness between subject and object is known as meditation. not the English term that we use, but when we apply knowledge and the great explanation given by the rishis, you will realize that meditation means unbroken awareness towards subject and object. So slowly the practice of Tratak will take you to meditation, and when you realize after one point of time, the final stage is when the subject and the object unite. There is no one meditating, there is no outside world, there is no heart, no third eye chakra, no Tratak. Everything becomes one, and that is the state of an enlightened being, and that is known as Samadhi. However, I'm not going to throw light on Samadhi because nowadays people just throw vague understanding on Samadhi. In fact, there are 7 to 8 different types of Samadhi, and I'm sure if Bhagwan is willing, we'll make a video on it. But at the moment, we'll end here only by understanding subject and object and how to run away from anxiety, fear, depression by making the mind sharp like a needle so that you can pierce through anything. Now let's understand how does it work. To break this down, let's understand. If you focus your mind on any object for 12 seconds without breaking or without running here and there, it becomes 1 unit of concentration. This 1 unit of concentration, if it is done 12 times, being focused, it becomes 1 unit of meditation. And if this 1 unit of meditation is done unbrokenly for 12 units, it becomes 1 unit of samadhi. That means just imagine how the monkey mind form outside of its control for such units, and when you take inward, it will take you to samadhi. Of course, this calculation is very subjective. It depends upon the sadhak, of course, on his karmas or his samskaras and what state of evolution he is. But the rishis have explained beautifully that how from outward senses, that is how while doing pratyahar, we can understand the units and the states that a human can experience with him. And remember, the highest state is when you have established in a state where you're unaffected by anything. From duality, we have moved towards non-duality, and that is Vedanta. See, the fact is that meditation can be done anytime, anywhere. But for a beginner who's starting on the path, there are some rules and regulations so that the monkey mind comes under control. 3 important takeaways that be aware. First is be aware of your spine and sit on the floor, or even if you have some spine issues, you can sit on the chair, but the spine should be erect. Second, generally when we sit, we always take a cushion and we face towards the east. If not possible, then northeast. Why? Because it will help you and you're moving in a motion in such a way that the prana goes up. And third, which is very, very important, there are 4 specific times that the cosmic energy is the highest to control the monkey mind and to experience the highest state of sadhana. And they are the 4 Muhurtam. The first is the Brahma Muhurtam, which comes between 3 to 5, depending upon your time zone. The second is when the sun is at the zenith, 12 o'clock, when everything is calm and composed, and that time the energy is high. The evening is dusk, when evening meets night, that is the evening sandhya. And the last is midnight, 12 o'clock. But I would recommend wake up in the morning and do your sadhana so that you can do other activities during the day. Also, something which I have noticed on our path is fixed timing is the best timing. And that is how, we have 2 watches. One is the watch that we run around. Second, when you evolve in your sadhana, you will realize there's a biological clock and that guides you. All the rishis and higher beings have attuned themselves to the biological clock, and that is the clock one should work on. So get a fixed timing, and for a beginning, don't have any rules or regulations of fear. Have only one rule or regulation, that I will stick to my timing, give my best, and I will start with basics. So we adopt the Gyan Mudra like this. The Gyan Mudra is not like this or like this. It is tip to tip. Take the Gyan Mudra, palms facing the ceiling, head, neck, spine on a straight line. Be comfortable, do your pranayam, do your tratak, and the best is neti neti, how to do it. For beginners, also remember one thing, that the stomach should be empty and you should be comfortable. A 15-minute sadhana link has been given, which will guide you through the entire process. We are giving our best one thing is expected from a starter, that is for your own journey and own growth. You have to do it for 6 months. And the beauty is, the more you do it, the more nature will guide you. And trust me, you won't even need us, because that cosmic guidance is always there. The initial steps are required, and you are the one that has to take the first step. Be aware, start your journey. Hari Om Tat Sat.